Is anxiety a core issue or is it a symptom of something deeper?
Mm.
Mhm.
Could be either. I would say, like, when we talk about anxiety, it's a we look at it in our training as a collection of diagnoses. Um, but so it could be like there's a diagnosis called generalized anxiety disorder that is basically like, I don't have a reason why I feel this way, but I feel anxious. And I feel anxious in a general sense in a bunch of different places in my life, at work and at home and, at church and in the car.
Mhm.
And so that's one that where it feels like if that's more of maybe a more core issue, but in a lot of ways it's a symptom of things that are happening in our lives or have happened in our lives. So we mentioned trauma. If there's a trauma that happened and we can identify it, and then we feel anxiety about that ongoing, like we feel like we're still in that place where we feel fearful and we feel like there's a threat that we have to protect ourselves from and our body's reacting to it, then that's a symptom of the trauma that occurred.
Mhm.
And I think the more we look at it, we kind of diagnose things with the information that we have. So even like a
Yeah.
generalized anxiety disorder, like who knows if there was a trauma when you were 18 months old, or if there was something that happened over the course of your childhood that you can't pinpoint, but you've felt anxious since then. Sometimes for me, I've had experiences of anxiety where, and this is really common, I think, with the pandemic, where something will happen and then you'll feel the after effects for a good 6 months or 12 months, and then you'll start to recover. And you'll recover maybe kind of more naturally. Like you don't necessarily go to therapy and go see psychiatrists to get on medication, but it just takes time for our bodies and our minds to recover. It can take up to 6 months to get over like stressful events. Like at the end of my grad school, I was planning my wedding at the same time. I got married and graduated within 2 weeks and then moved. It was crazy. I don't know. Wasn't a good idea. I was 28. I still felt like a superhero back then. But during that time, I remember talking to my therapist about the anxiety, and he was like, if you don't feel better in 6 months, once everything's calmed down, then it's an
Yeah.
issue. But until then, that's just how long it takes sometimes. So he normalized for me, like sometimes it just takes time to recover.